Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Voodoo Garden. My name is Ray. I will be your host. And before I get started, I want to thank Ray over on the Praxis 55712 channel for taking over for me on Weekend Edition. That was very nice of you. Thank you so much. I have a lot of things to do here, so I didn't have time to do the Weekend Edition. So if you want to see Weekend Edition, my good friend Ray, and I'll put a link down here to his channel, he did a Weekend Edition for me, and that was really a cool thing. Let's get started. Let's get started. I have a lot of things to show you, and they're very interesting, and I don't have a whole lot of time to do it. Well, actually, I have endless time, but I tend to talk a lot. So let's see if I can talk less, show more. All right, first thing on my plant update, show you things. This is the beet that I'm growing for the Ronnie's beet contest. Ronnie and Steven are running a beet growing contest, and I've been growing this thing for, I don't know, a month or more, something like that. And I've mentioned many, well, probably too many times, that I cut all the leaves off once a week. And I have my beet green salad. For somebody who doesn't like beet greens, I've been eating, or for somebody who doesn't like beets, I've been growing a lot of beet greens, and I love it. But this is the update on it, and I'm going to bring you in close so you can see the actual root, because it is fantastic to look at up close. Take a look at this. This is something else. This is a mango beet. And mango beets are supposed to get really huge and ugly, but I don't know, something about it, I just like it. And the more leaves I cut off, you know, from down here, the more you can see the actual beet. Kind of cool, isn't it? Yeah, it's a mango beet. I'm growing it indoors. I can't wait to grow this outdoors. If it's doing this well indoors, can you imagine how well this thing is going to do out in a garden? I think, you know, if you've never grown a beet, a mango beet is a fun project. It shows well, it grows fast. Kids, and I hate to say it, but I tend to have the wonder of a kid when it comes to growing things. A kid is going to love watching this thing grow because it's just, I don't know, it's, as they would say, cool. This is a flower that has a remarkable look to it. This is called a sacred Datura. Those of you who haven't been following me for very long, this is a plant that is extremely dangerous to grow if you eat it, but as long as you don't eat your plant, it's not dangerous at all. It's a beautiful plant. Take a look at the flower. Let me zoom in. It'll clear up as soon as I get done zooming in. Yeah, it is like a work of art, isn't it? It's a double purple Datura. It has the petals out here that just kind of, it's kind of like frosting and comes out to little peaks, and then in here. And then in here, you can see that it has all of the little flower parts. And if you want to get seeds, all you have to do is take your finger and do this. Or a paintbrush or a Q-tip, but come on. Who can't just take a finger and shove it inside a flower just to pollinate? There. Ooh, pollen. I pollinated a flower, and as soon as that flower dies, it's going to form a seed pod right at the base, and I'm going to get probably about 50 to 60 seeds out of it. These are beautiful flowers, and they're called moonflowers because they generally only flower at night, and they're pollinated, get this, by a garden pest. Yes, the tomato hornworm, the adult version is called a hawk moth, and those hawk moths are known to pollinate these. Yes, they come out at night, and the moths are absolutely beautiful. They're also called hummingbird moths, I think, and they just hover and they just go in here and they pollinate the heck out of these. It's really remarkable. This is an orchid of some sort, but I got it as just a little plant. It's grown leaves, and it actually put out a flower stem. And look at the flowers on that. They're absolutely beautiful. But it not only did that, I mean, I wanted to show you the flowers. Let me tighten up this camera. I wanted to show you the flowers because they started out here, and then there was one, and then another one bloomed. It's blooming right down the line, and they stay bloomed for a long period of time. Guess what? Orchids can be grown in soil as long as it's well drained. That is the key. Well drained soil. And, oops, let me move this out of the way. Take a look at what else it's doing. Here's the main plant, and they put out aerial roots, support roots down here. But here's the main plant. It grew, and then it sent out this little stem. But then, as soon as it started flowering, it did another thing. Right here, you can barely see it. This is a whole new plant. Yeah, it's putting out some kind of weird pup, like a side plant over here. So I have a plant, side plant, and flower, all at the exact same time. this is one very, very happy plant. It is just as graceful and beautiful as can be. This is my dragon fruit. Yep, I planted it in here. I took a cutting, actually, and I laid it down where these little roots were coming out of the bottom. I laid it down, and it was barely to the end. And look at where it's gone since then. All the way over there. It grows extremely fast, and here is another one that I placed into the soil as well. And if you've kept up on the episodes, you notice that the tip used to be right there. Here's a whole new growing part right here. I don't want to touch it because they have little thorns that get into my skin and I can't get them out. But I don't know when it's going to flower or if it ever will. But let me tell you something. When you take a cutting and just lay them in the soil, they take off. So if you ever want to grow a fun plant, get dragon fruit. They're a fun plant to grow. Remember the 7-foot tall Moringa plant that was growing downstairs, 7.5 feet tall? Yeah, I took cuttings from it, shoved the cuttings into the soil. Well, the cuttings didn't have really that much of a woody stem to it, and they're supposed to have woody stems in order to take cuttings. Well, that was a failed attempt, so all 3 of them died. But the main plant did extremely well. It sturdied up. Remember how it was going back and forth? Not anymore. It has a new growth coming out here. Very happy, very healthy, and it's growing perfectly. So I have success with pruning a Moringa. Flowers. Yeah, that thing just cannot be stopped. It is filled with all kinds of new growth coming out of all the different stems that I pruned back, but it also, as a bonus, is going to put out flowers. That thing just cannot be stopped. So if you're wondering if you should prune back your overgrown Christmas cactus, there you go, folks. All kinds of good growth. It's loving its new pot, and it's even putting out flowers. It's a win-win situation. Prune that thing back, you're going to have a better plant in the future. Trust me, there's the evidence right there. Now here's something really strange. I was growing these seeds that a viewer sent me, and they didn't label them. So it was a surprise. I don't know what these things are. They, the seed leaves kind of look like a cucumber or something like that, but look at the leaves. That is really funky. And it's got a twin over here in a larger pot. I don't know what these things are. And I've rubbed the leaves and smelled them. Ugh. Ew. Smells like burnt rubber. I don't know what these things are. I have no idea, but boy, do they love it up here in the Voodoo Grow Room. Whatever it is, I'm growing it, so if you sent these seeds, there they are. This is a rather strange plant. It's called the Spanish lime. I think I got seeds. Yes, I got seeds. I grew this from a seed. And it has a really nice stem. Really good, solid, woody stem down here. But as it grows, the leaves look good, and then they get really ugly. I thought it might be some kind of a fungus, so I sprayed them. That didn't help. But what I think it's doing is, as it grows, it just dies off all of these lower ones, because look at what's up here. Let me turn the camera up here. The upper growth is beautiful. This is a Spanish lime. I've never grown one of these before, but you know what's really beautiful about this? Look at the stems. Okay, here's the leaves right here. This and this. But look at the stem. The stem that connects it to the main stem actually has kind of a leaf on it as well. Is that beautiful? Yeah, this is an extremely beautiful plant, and they grow their leaves out really delicate and long like a mango. Yep. And I don't know what's going on here, but whatever it is, it seems to know what it's doing. It's a very healthy plant. So the bottom leaves, they dry up, and I crunch them up and put them back in the soil, and it seems to like that. And then the new leaves up here are going out. At one time I was going to throw this away because I thought, wow, this thing is sick. Turns out it's not. It's very healthy and it's very happy. So whoever sent me the Spanish lime seeds, yes, your baby is growing here in the Voodoo Room. Okay, I think that pretty much does it for the Voodoo Garden tour. Thanks everybody for joining me in here. And by the way, if you're wondering what this thing is, this is, it's called a tree tomato. And I started this in July of 2013. I think it's, well, it actually is a tree. It's not a tomato, and it is a tree though. And as I go, I'm taking the bottom leaves off and I'm training it to go up, but I have no idea what this thing's going to do. Whatever it is, it's doing it well and it's liking it in here. But I guess I'll keep you updated on this as I go. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning into the Voodoo Garden and joining me here for this short tour, my 3-hour tour. Thanks for joining me for my tour. I really do appreciate it. This is Ray. As I always say at the end, I'm out of here. Have a great day, everybody.